Pardon?
We're live.
Okay, and we are live. And Commissioner Robbins, as Vice Chair, would you get the meeting started, please?
Okay. We want to call to order the Monday, April 7th meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. You're going to have to help me through this because I didn't know Ed wasn't going to be here, so.
I'll do a roll call.
That would be
All
great.
right.
Yeah. Chairman Wood, Commissioner Bothroyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers, Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Here.
Commissioner Robbins.
Here.
Okay, great.
Okay,
We have a quorum.
all right. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes. Yes.
Do we have any additions or corrections? No?
We
Okay.
just need a motion for
All right.
approval.
Motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we're ready for a roll call on that?
Yes. Commissioner Bothroyd,
Approve.
Commissioner Brown,
Approve.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Okay. They are approved as noted.
Okay. And we have several applications for consideration tonight. We'll take them in order. The first one is consideration of Action 2014, 2011, 2035. The applicant requests permanent business signage on window at 223 South Division. Photos and illustrations of the proposed work for Simone's Cafe have been submitted for your review. The applicant or representative will be present to answer any specific questions. Is there someone here to represent that? Okay. Okay. Would you like to approach the microphone there? Okay. First, do we have anything from staff that we need to take in consideration there?
Your report on that just indicates that well, I see a size here at 55 by 25. Is that the size of the sign?
For the window decals?
Yes.
Yes. And then there'll be another sign. The top one is what I'm wanting to put on the awning. And the lower, or excuse me, I have that backwards. The lower one is the one I want to put on the awning. And the upper one is, I would like to probably put in an arch, but in that same font on the window.
That'd be the area where Cowboy Cafe is now.
Exactly.
Okay. But the top one's your awning.
Yes.
Okay, so the color of the letters are the cherry wood on beige, correct? And that's very similar to this, or?
Yes, that's as close as my printer can get to it.
Okay. Do you have a color swatch, or does it reference?
It's cherry woods right here in our,
Appreciate that, thank you.
And it's actually called Lazy Beige in the color booklet.
somewhere,
Right above it.
right, right above it, duh.
And it just occurred to me, is there any way I could put carry-out orders welcome and my phone number on the window also? If that's a deal breaker, it's not that big a deal.
And what font would you put it in? The same font or?
Very similar, yes.
What color is the existing awning?
I think it's a wood.
Is it a
Would
wood?
It's-
shake, isn't it?
Yeah, shake shingles.
Okay.
What size would that lettering be in relation to the size of the lettering that you're going to be putting on the window? For for Simone's
The
Cafe?
window decals,
Right.
I think about 6 inches.
Okay, what about the new sightings you want to add, the phone number to take out?
Just a little bit smaller than the letters.
Okay.
If I remember, it's a fairly big window. You know, we can only cover 33% of your window with signage, so as long as you can
Okay.
stay under that,
Okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Basically, what we're looking at, if you were to take and draw a square around whatever your letters are, so long as the dimensions, or, I'm sorry, the square footage area of that does not exceed 30% of the size of the glass,
Oh, okay.
okay? That's what we look for,
I was unaware of that, but yes, I'll make sure I stay within that.
okay?
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it.
Any questions from any commissioners?
We're not going to have any blue background.
No, that was just to define the lazy beige.
Okay. Well, shall we call for a vote?
We'll have to have a
Oh, we
motion.
should have a motion. Yes, there we go. That'll help.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
Okay. Commissioner Bothroyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowers,
She's not here.
not here. Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll just
Wishing
need
you
to.
well.
Yeah, yes, we wish you well. Looking forward to Saturday breakfast. You'll just need to come back up here tomorrow to get your sign permit. Okay?
Our next application is application 2014, 2011, 2076 for permanent business signs on a window at 116 West Harrison. Photos and illustrations have been submitted, and we should have an applicant or representative ready. Okay? Would you come and tell us your name?
I'm Kim Park with KT Designs.
Okay. And this is the old Vencedora building, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We're looking at Barley.
When you had 4.5-inch letters and you're going to be doing 3-inch letters, was it because it was more than the 33% on the window? Was there,
No, we just prefer the smaller letters.
okay, because you'll be able to see you from the street then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you give your name one more time?
Yes, it's Kim Park.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
We're talking about that color right here.
Yeah.
And
Barley.
I had them all picked out.
Yeah.
26.
That looks
Okay.
good.
Do you have comments from staff?
I mean, we're still looking at the signage here, but amazing window display. I think your window looks wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's a great store.
Okay.
Okay, so as it's submitted then within this picture, that's the location for your logo, and the rustic homes furnishing, that's the 3-inch letters?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with a second.
Okay. Commissioner Bothroyd,
Approve.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
It's approved as submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to town.
Okay, our third application tonight is application number 2014, 2011, 2080 for permanent business signs on the window at 330 West Oklahoma. We do have photos and illustrations of the proposed work, and do we have a representative?
I'm Jackie Hussman, and I'm owner of Jackie's Skincare Studio.
Okay, all right. We see your awning right now with your Campfire Cafe, coffee,
Yes.
which you're going to
We're going to take that off.
remove that.
The weather has not cooperated.
Okay. Is the whole awning coming off, or are you just
No,
removing the
we're going
stitching?
to take that off.
Just
the
removing the
stitching,
stitching?
yes.
Okay. All right.
Do you think that
If I
the-
can make, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, do you think that the outline from the awning will fade to where you can still see the
We
signage
think
on
that
there?
it will be faded. If it is, what we're going to do is just try to take some fabric paint at this point and just paint that strip.
The same color as the awning?
Yes.
Okay.
It will probably be just a little bit darker because of the fading of the awning, but we're going to try to stay right within that for now. Just keep it real simple.
Okay. All right.
Would there be any, how shall I say, peeling of that fabric paint? Would that be an issue over time? I mean, the fabric tends to stay unless it's torn.
It is material. It's been embroidered on stitching. So there's, the fabric paint. No, it
Right.
absorbs like a dye.
Okay,
It's specifically made for fabric.
okay.
Okay.
Jackie, do you have a logo of any type?
I have one that has been just designed, but I haven't even incorporated it into my window or anything yet.
Okay, do you plan on doing that maybe
No.
later? No?
I don't see any need because I'm by appointment only, and I already have my clientele pretty well built up. I don't see that I need a whole lot of, bling and
Okay.
thing on the windows.
Okay. Oftentimes in some of the signs that we have historically, and I see yours is compact and small, there usually is an outline around the lettering as a whole. It's not absolutely mandatory, but it is preferred. Commissioners, do you have any feeling one way or another on that, as well as the font? There's no serifs on that font.
I can add that, have him add it. We were trying to keep it small because the awning is so low, you cannot hardly see from the road. We were keeping it low and a little bit smaller. We really had trouble with vision. That
Okay.
building sits at such an angle, and the
Okay.
awning is so low. But if you want to outline, Jarrett can do it, I'm sure. He knows the rules.
My concern is like you said, will you be able to see it, especially with white? I know that white
Yeah.
has a tendency to pop out because of the dark background, but, that's why I was wondering if you had a logo, because I know you have clients already. It's kind of advertising
Yeah.
to fill your book. I don't know if
Well,
maybe
if
a
I,
background would be.
yeah, if I do a logo, should I come back or go ahead and have it outlined now?
If it's a logo, she would need to come back.
I can do that. Yeah. So what do you prefer for the outline? So I can have him do it.
Now, Renee, you're talking about outlining each individual letter?
No,
like-
no, just
Just
a
a box.
box
Just a
it
box.
is.
Just a box or an oval
Right.
or
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
something,
all right,
Okay.
just to help define it a little bit
Okay.
more for you.
I'll do that.
Now, I see letters on the door. Is that your telephone number? I mean, is that something that was already there when the picture was taken?
There were numbers there, and there's a little sign that's just want to peel off, and it said, "Enter as guests, leave as friends."
Okay.
Just one of those little peel-off signs that's real small, it's not this tall.
I think if she just puts a border around it, kind of help define it, I think it'd look great.
I'll do that.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
simple.
If you want to keep that approval with staff, we could do that so it doesn't delay her having to come back in another month.
I'd appreciate that. I've waited.
Right.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Okay. Any specific issues you want me to look for? Width of the outline or,
I think you've looked at enough of them through the years that We can probably trust you.
Just wanted to make sure. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, I definitely want it to be your style, too. I
Right.
don't want to take away from that. I mean, you know.
I understand that. You know, we started to get real fancy, and then he said he thought that as small as I was having to go, that from the road, it may not be noticeable because of the vision in that area.
Right.
I think that's why they did the stitching on the awning before, because they weren't getting much view of the window.
Have you thought about maybe putting stitching on the awning
We've thought
instead?
about it, we have thought about it, but that'll be something later if I do that.
Okay.
And if you were to put like an oval or something around it, I
Yes.
think you could, it
I'll
would
have
even
it done.
attract more vision. So.
I agree.
Okay, any other questions from commissioners? No? Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with the stipulation that you're going to put a border around it.
I will do that.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion to approve with a second.
Commissioner Bothroyd,
I approve.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
The motion is approved with modification of the border.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you could just get me a copy and just bring it by the front window, and either ask for Jim Fish or myself, Renee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, our next action is consideration of application 2014, 2011, 2090, a request for approval to add an 8-by-10 addition to the back of an existing temporary structure. We have an illustration of the proposed work with some dimensions, and do we have a representative? Daddy. Okay. Okay.
Is the business name Avalanche?
Yes,
Okay, and what's your name, please?
Jan Crockett.
Thank you.
Can somebody define what existing temporary structure is? I mean, it's a structure that's already there. I wasn't aware that it was an existing temporary.
It's not affixed to the ground.
That is
It can be
correct.
moved very
Right.
easily.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on concrete blocks.
Okay.
And that's how it's been for,
Right.
It's been there.
We,
Yeah.
we allow a temporary building to be put up, and by building, we're talking a shed like you would put in your backyard, without requiring a building permit. The addition that's going to be going in is at the point that it would require a building permit and full inspections. So construction was due to begin. The building inspector here on staff had them stop construction so that they could come before this commission to get approval for the exterior look of it, and then it will be processed as a permanent building with a foundation.
It will be after this? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my
have you
understanding.
talked to Jim then?
Not
Because they're
about,
planning on anchoring the building down. I
right,
don't
he
know
had-
the
yes.
terms.
He had told me.
It's not going to just be sitting there.
That's correct. He had told me that he and the contractor
Yeah.
had agreed on a method so that it would be anchored permanently,
Yes.
as opposed to being placed on concrete masonry units. Yeah.
Yes.
And from what I understand, the pictures that you are bringing today were supposed to be an indication of what the whole building would look like as it's attached to your existing structure.
Right. We're using all the same type of wood that's already there,
Okay.
and we're going to use all the same paint. I mean, it's not going to look like an addition, really.
It would be a longer version.
Right, and we're going to put the trim and, everything.
Okay, so are you going to paint the existing structure? Because isn't that paint already kind of faded? to where
Yes,
it's not
we're
really-
going to paint the entire building. It'll give it a fresh look, but we're using all the same color scheme.
That yellow color is the one that's approved already?
Yes.
Okay. And then what do you said the bottom of it, what do you plan on putting that? I mean, do you plan on it being exposed like
No,
that? What do
no.
you plan on putting on the bottom of that?
You know who my brother is, don't you? He won't let it look bad. Yes, we're going to either do some shrubs or
You don't want to do like brick and make it
brick.
look real permanent,
Well,
you know?
yeah, that's a definite idea, definitely. But I don't want to leave it exposed by any means.
I would highly recommend commission take a look at having that filled in entirely. Shrubs could die, unfortunately, and we would want to see some kind of a
Finish.
complete look to the
Okay.
ground.
I agree, definitely.
Okay.
So you're going to be making something other than just snow cones?
No.
Just lots more of snow cones?
Well, the reason why we're adding on is
I know how small that is in there.
it is small, and we didn't have any storage, and all of that was at my house. And so there was a lot of
Yep.
commuting, and we're going to have an ice machine there as well that was not there. So it'll just make it a
It'll
lot.
be great. Be able to
Lots.
sell a lot more.
Right.
So does that mean the addition will be a storage area, or are you adding any area for seating, or?
Oh, no. It's just storage and refrigerator and storage, basically.
Gotcha.
Will
An
you-
ice machine.
What kind of access are you going to have for that? Are you going to have a door in the back or? on
Yes, the
side?
existing door will just move to the back of the building.
Okay.
It's just going to make the building look a little longer.
Okay, so what we're asking is that where we're seeing just concrete blocks holding the south end of the structure up, that you're going to infill that
Yeah.
so it does not look
Yes.
like it could just be
Yes.
picked up and moved.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm going to want to really know what that's going to be. I mean, I know that I proposed brick and you agreed, but I would really like to know what that's going to be as far as all the way
Okay.
down. I want to know what that's.
I really wasn't prepared to tell you that this evening, but should I come back when we have a better plan as far as what we're going to do around it, or should I talk with Jim about it, or?
My concern, and I'm sure the commission's as well,
We wanna
is
get
to
you
see
on,
what
but-
the
Yeah.
facade, what the exterior walls are going to look like.
The exterior walls,
Right. If I'm standing in front of your business or to the side of your business, say I'm standing out on Second Street, looking at it, what is the wall going to look like if I'm standing on the street?
The wall's going to look like it does now.
Yeah, it's going to have.
Just needs to
it's
have
going to
some
look
type of,
exactly the same as the existing building.
With the fresh coat of paint, it's just this
just
down
needs-
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
it-
but that's
I-
not the wall.
I'm with Sandra, though. It needs
That's-
some type of finished foundation look, so we
Yeah.
do not see
It's the foundation
those cinder
that's gonna
blocks
be-
sitting underneath it. I think the structure as a whole, with the front facade, kind of gives it a 1889 look, being a wood frame building, but it does need to have some type of permanent foundation skirting of some kind. Needs to be, I like the brick idea. I think the brick would actually tie in with the sidewalk
And it's
right in
such
front
a
of it.
small area.
Yeah,
It could-
but,
Find use
I
brick
mean,
or
if you
something.
have another alternative or another idea, I think we'd be open to entertaining those. It just does need to have a finished look.
I totally agree.
If you took the siding clear to the ground, it's going to tend to rot.
Right, and you don't want to
Right.
do
Right.
that.
You don't do that either. And it's such a small area.
Well, commissioners, you could make an approval that we would then follow, and a certificate of occupancy would then be given based on your approval of what it would look like. Now, that could be that the bottom 2 feet or whatever amount you so decide be a brick or brick veneer even, something going around, or some type of a contrasting trim. All I'm saying is, in the motion that you make, specify what you want to see at the bottom, and let us know what the parameters are, so that when we go inspect it, that we inspect it to that.
Because I'd hate to delay you even a month.
Right,
It's
because we're
getting
trying to
warmer.
be open for 89ers.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know how to judge.
I would have no idea of what as far as measurements, I want it to go over not just meet the edge, but come over, and maybe have a ledge of some sort. I just want it, I think it would look nicer.
Yeah.
What about
and approachable.
brick or like material to extend up like 6 inches above the bottom trim of the building from
Let me
front
ask
to
you this.
back?
If this changes it from a temporary structure to a permanent structure, we need to look at those guidelines for a permanent structure. What are those guidelines? What do they have to be? If this addition is changing it to a permanent structure, I think we need to look at those guidelines. I'm sure we have them, as far as what it has to be.
Right. Conceivably, she could add a wooden exterior wainscoting type element there, but you are correct. If wood is touching dirt, that will rot and deteriorate.
And then if we require her to come up a 6 inches or a foot, then she's going to end up with wainscoting with brick, and I don't know that that's what you want to do.
But this
either.
really goes back to an existing temporary structure. Is it going to be temporary, or is it going to be
Existing.
She's making it permanent.
Okay.
Well,
And if we're talking about just so that this is not covered, why, or is covered, why couldn't it be just a course of brick higher than the base of the building?
It could.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, a huge amount above, just as long as you have one course of brick so that it is definitely covered, overlapping.
if I tell you that I would brick it, is there any way that I could go ahead and open before it was bricked for 89ers?
With the
Because
understanding
I'm
that-
just running into a time issue, and, 89ers will probably pay for the brick. I mean, I really need to be open, 89ers.
Well, if we had an understanding that the bricking would be done within a definite period of time,
If we put that in the motion, then yes.
Then we can do that.
so that it would give you some time to
Yes.
get your building, get
Yes.
in, be able to do 89ers.
Right.
Because,
Well, if we required that she just brick up to meet the wood, it might be better, because if she's got to bring it out over it, then you've got that area.
yeah, but since, yeah, go ahead.
I just think it needs to look like it's sitting on a permanent foundation.
Right. That's what I'm saying,
And
if you just
so-
bring the brick up to the wood, set it back and make it the same level where it just drops down.
But then you've got a gap, because it's not going to be perfect. So what I'm suggesting is, I'm not a builder, but you could like box it with plywood and just put one layer of brick and make it look like it's just a big, facade of a brick structure. In other words, if we put brick up to the edge, your edge is not going, it's going to be not.
Right, but what if you put
Yeah,
a
the
piece
the
of,
edge would need to be horizontal
Exactly.
Yeah.
as
So-
opposed to going up or down.
Right, so I think if you built,
It's Monday.
yes,
I
it is.
think Velvet was better.
But if you had some type of, built it like a box, if you
Your
said,
brick and some type of finishing along
so
the
that
top.
you
Right,
can
on
go
the edge
over
of the
on top
brick.
of it, so
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
continues on, I mean, I'm not a builder, but
I could
know
see
it-
putting the brick up to a certain point and then, a little trim piece across the top of the brick.
I would like to just see it all brick. I don't want to see, to me, in my opinion, I don't want to see
Yeah.
any trim. I want to see just brick finishing it. That's my opinion.
No doubt, you'll probably have a couple of ideas that may come about in the next day or two. I would like to recommend that, you commissioners indicate something along the lines of what it is we're talking about, but with the provision that it be run by, say,
Bring
the
the final
chair or the
product and
vice
let's-
chair
Yeah.
also to take a look at
Yeah.
it.
Bring the final product in.
Yes.
Rendering of what it's going to look like, so that
Yeah. This
city
is-
staff and at
Right.
least somebody else from the commission knows.
Yeah, this is something that the owner should design and develop,
Yeah, oh, I agree.
yeah.
I agree.
Another option there as well for you to consider in your list of things, there's some nice trim on that in the
Mm-hmm.
dark green with the yellow. That may be something also that could be used as well.
That's what I was
But that's
thinking
a-
when you said a trim piece, it'd be just kind of continuing this around with the brick under it.
Right.
So, there's a couple of ideas, so you can go home and think about it, talk about it, and Okay. Have you got that in a motion, Jim?
Go for it, Jim.
Approve upon receipt, with the understanding that a rendering of the final product to be approved by the chairman and/or vice chairman.
We need something
And
that
when-
also indicates a time.
Within 2 weeks.
How about mid-May? May 15th?
Sounds good.
May 15th. sounds-
That'd give you 3 weeks
Yes.
after 89ers?
Yes,
That
that's-
sound doable?
That's fine.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Like that, thank you.
I second it.
Thank you.
Was that Sandy?
Steph and Kim, or Sandy and Kim.
Whichever order you want to put us in. You did it.
Okay, and completed by May 15th.
Chairman, or excuse me, Commissioner Bothroyd?
Approved based on the stipulations that we all agreed on.
Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown, that is.
Yes.
Commissioner Long?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
The motion is approved with the stipulation that the modifications outlined are met in full
Right,
by May 15th.
Okay.
right. Basically, bring something back, whether it's preferably a drawing that would come here to staff. We will take a look, and we'll either find Kathy or Ed, our chair and vice chair, and have them look at it as well.
So just whenever I get that, I bring it up to your office?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. And that it would all need to be complete, the construction, installation, all of that complete by May 15th.
Yes.
Okay.
I plan on having it pretty well complete, except for what you're talking about right now, so.
Okay.
Thank
Would you
you.
like your photos back?
Yeah. Unless you need them.
I'd like one for the file.
Okay. We've still got one down there. You can have
Okay,
that one
thank
back.
you.
Good. Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
I think it's sandbags.
Do you need that?
Renee, is this
I don't
bench,
think so,
is this the bench part of tonight's?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
This is one of those last
okay.
minute things I
All
threw
right.
into
Okay.
Shelby.
Well, for our final item in tonight's meeting, we will have consideration of application 2014, 2011, 2086. We want to discuss the public bench selection for the city of Guthrie. The benches will be placed throughout the historic district. We have examples here provided to us by municipal services, and our staff will be able to answer any specific questions that we might have. Staff.
Thank you. Maxine from Municipal Services and I were discussing the need for additional benches in the downtown district, and especially now since the trees were replaced in that area around Harrison and Second Street. People used to sit on the planters. Planters are gone. After we had both received our dose of sticker shock and realizing how much benches cost, close to $2,000 at least, did a little bit of checking and found that the Oklahoma Department of Corrections makes some quite nice benches that are about a tenth of that cost. What you have in front of you, Commissioners, are two of their designs that they had. One is a fairly detailed rendering showing the state of Oklahoma, the word Oklahoma, the scissor tail, and a bison. It signifies everything, or most things, that are Oklahoma, and it's quite attractive. The other one is a fairly simple design, same base, but with vertical slats for where the backrest is. How's that for a verbal picture? Is
I like
that
that.
cool? What we would like is your approval to proceed in looking at these benches as a viable option for us to put in the downtown historic district. We've had just amongst staff discussion about which bench is preferred. I have my own. And it's kind of a 50-50 situation. Some like the, how shall I say this delicately, more messy looking one, and some of us like the more elegant but
Yes.
quiet one. So you know where I am. At any rate, if there is a choice between the two, we're certainly open, or there may be situations where different
I'd like
ones
to
could be
see
placed.
both, a combination of them
Okay.
downtown,
Uh-huh.
as a, just throwing out an idea that we could use some of both.
And I think there are locations where we could do that.
I think the messy one, as you like to call it, would look better in an area where there's not a lot of other detail for people to be looking at, whereas the more plain might be good in front of the buildings where we want them to notice the architecture, to look at what's in the community. But someplace over like the parking lot where there's just not a whole lot of other things going on, to have the smaller with the more detail, because I really like both of them.
Well, and they're both very similar, it's just, the touches on the back
Exactly.
are a little bit different. Well, we thought that if we had approval on the design, right now, the primary places around that parking area, but we can see in the future that as more changes are made, or we see the need, or there's additional funding available,
Yeah.
that we can put them. But, and again, what I'm starting to see is, how should I say, benches are starting to proliferate, and I would like to have some consistency throughout the.
Well, and if we could get maybe sponsors for some of the benches.
You bet.
Some of the building owners or store owners might like to sponsor their own bench. Is we have some of those concrete ones still, a few of those left around town
Yes.
that are
Crumbling?
crumbling and the legs turn on them every time somebody sits on them and that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to get some of those
Right.
removed.
How many are you looking at?
Right now, don't have a definite count. We just knew that time was coming up close to our meeting, and I wanted to get this in.
So which side, west side or the east side of the historic district are we going to plant these?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Okay.
Why would we
so-
differentiate that?
Well, I'm just saying, are we going to start with one side and see how it looks? Or are we going to look on, I don't know. It's just a question.
do I.
Which side are we going to start? Which side? Or are we just going to concentrate on one area in the historic district or throughout? Is it going to be like for every block? How many benches are we planning on each block? That's
Haven't-
kind of where
Haven't
that
got
question.
that far yet.
Okay.
The question that arose was, what are we going to do around the parking lot area?
Mm-hmm.
And if we made a decision, well,
That would
then
be what
let
you-
this
okay.
be the one
Okay.
that we use whenever another subject would come up.
Okay, so
of this.
in my opinion, I do like this one only for the fact that it's timeless.
Yes.
It's classic, and
That's the
I don't think we're
non-messy
going
one.
to get tired. I think we'll get tired of this one, so if you did,
Yeah.
and I like
Just a
both of
few.
them, I do.
Yeah, just a few.
but not a lot,
Yeah.
because I really
Yeah,
think
these look more like,
this blends in regardless of what's going on.
You could have
Around.
all these and one of these over there.
Yes.
Just something different where people will be taking pictures, kids will be fascinated by looking at the items, something like that.
Would they
I
be,
like that.
would they be anchored down?
You bet.
And, well, I mean,
I was gonna say, how are these not going to leave during the night?
some people chain them, some people put them with bolts.
No, I
see
would
they've got bolt
have them
places,
bolted,
but-
not
And-
chained.
And are we going to have, like, when the sidewalks like this, are you going to have them angled, or are you going to have them leveled to where,
I agree. I would want them to be leveled in some way.
yeah. 'cause,
Whether or
we've got a lot of
not,
sidewalks that are like this. I would like to see the bench be able to be
I
set
don't know, I
on.
like seeing everybody sit like this.
But yeah, but that's the plan, that they will level them out, right? Okay.
Yes.
Because they have to be pleasing to the eye as well as being able to sit on them.
right. I agree.
Well, I think it's a
You
great
bet.
idea.
What color are they?
Black.
Black.
They are black.
And what are the dimensions on it?
Small and large.
Am I asking too many questions?
Small here, it says large here, that's all. That's how she knows.
I think they come in 6 and 8 feet lengths.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think it's a really good idea to invite people to spend time and sit. So,
Well, we have a lot of
Agreed.
people that get tired when they're going around town.
Well, guys
Others
that-
get
Guys are
bored.
amicable with their wives shopping if
Yep.
they can go sit somewhere.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
And they could get a snow cone at the new and
That's
improved
right.
snow
Yeah.
cone stand. And
Yeah, we may need to put some near that building, which would be great.
Well, that parking lot's right there, so
Right.
they'll be.
Yeah, well, it's a little farther, yeah.
Yep.
You bet.
pretty close.
okay.
I just think
So-
we also want to make sure that we check with the shop owners before we put them in front of their buildings. Just because I know
absolutely.
some shop owners
Don't
like
want 'em.
things right, they don't want people sitting in front of
Right.
the windows
Mm-hmm.
obstructing their displays, so
You're right.
I think we need to be cognizant of that as well.
Yeah.
We don't want to clutter up our sidewalk with too many benches.
No, not at all.
Point well taken, and you're right. I know when we went through with the bike racks, we asked,
Yeah.
do you want something? Can we? That type of thing. I would like to have you all vote on this, if you would, please.
I'll make a motion to approve one or both benches, either.
I'll second.
Okay.
Commissioner Bothroyd,
I approve.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
The benches have been approved.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's all of our agenda items. Do we have any reports or comments from the staff?
I have an item that I do want to pass down, and thank you, Aaron, for bringing. It's a flyer from SHPO, the State Historic Preservation Office. There we go. They're getting ready to have their state conference, and it's a reserve the date notification for June 4th, 5th, and 6th, and this year it will be held at OU down in Norman. It's a great way to spend basically 2.5 days with your fellow commissioners and other people who are passionate about historic preservation. A lot of good information to learn about, and let me know if you're interested in going.
Okay. Well, I don't know if any of you have gone to any of those. I've gone to a couple, and if you can just stay an hour or two, it's worthwhile.
Right. And it's one of those things where you do not have to go for the full duration. And if you can devote like half a day or a full day, even that is well worth it.
Okay. Any comments from commissioners?
Regards to that?
Anything else?
Well, I was just curious about a letter that I received. I would have thought that this would have went before us, before it would have got sent out, but it didn't, or I don't
What
recall.
letter did you get?
It's the one from, in an effort to improve the appearance and condition of commercial and residential properties in the historic district, talking about code compliant department will be conducting an enhancement sweep. And I think it's a great idea, but I just thought that it was kind of bizarre that we didn't hear about it here, and maybe we shouldn't, but I think that it's something that we should all know about, for sure, especially.
Okay. Let me bring you up to speed on what it is. With summer coming, we're, starting to get more and more calls and issues regarding grass growing, trees, shrubs, that kind of thing. And while there isn't, that particular issue in the downtown district, we are going to be going throughout the entire city in an effort to clean things up, make it such that nuisances are taken care of throughout the city. The purpose of the letter was to go out a little bit more in advance. We're not sending out any more letters, but to give business owners a several month notification that beginning on June 1st, we will start doing an enhanced nuisance abatement program throughout the town. Business owners have we all have a vested interest, but usually there's, in addition to their own home, there's their commercial building that may need attention. And oftentimes that's more expensive than just cutting the grass or picking up limbs or such. Some residences, of course, need to have some paint, but what we were trying to do with the purpose of that letter was to notify business owners that if they have peeling paint or a broken window, or there is something that, is bringing down the neighborhood in something that is akin to blighting, you have until June 1st to take care of it, or you will get a visit from the code enforcer. And this year, what we're doing that's different, in addition to Jim Fish going around and doing this, we are getting on loan 2 additional officers from the police department who will go out and do inspections as well. So hopefully it will tighten up a lot of things that we're looking for within the historic district in terms of cleanliness and paying attention to the building, as well as within the residential areas, taking care of shrubs, taking care of the house, cutting the grass, and those types of things. So that's what it's all about.
Now, this wouldn't affect somebody like James, who has been approved for the improvements on his building due to,
No,
Okay.
not at all, not
Sorry.
at all. This is strictly those kinds of situations where there are issues, say, with the building that need to be done, caulking that should be done around windows. If the bricks are in need of tuck pointing, for example, peeling paint, a sign that needs a little TLC because it's faded, those types of things.
Well, would the wall behind Prairie Wolf Distillery be one of those? Because here you have a nice building in the backdrop.
who does that belong to? The wall?
Yes,
Yeah, we wait every day
Good
for something
example.
to change.
I'll be
right
honest with you,
there.
I don't know. It's a
yeah,
visual nuisance, though.
It is.
yes,
It is. It just
Yeah.
it throws me off.
yeah, yes, it
So
would
that would be
be.
one of those.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
And that would actually belong to that building that was the Playhouse Theater or something,
yes.
which is for sale, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Okay.
if Brady Hunt still owns that or not.
I believe he does.
Okay.
Okay.
I also have one more comment. There's a historic light on the corner where Prairie Wolf is, where that intersection is on Wentz, and I can't even think of the street.
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Okay. There's a historic light that the pole's been sitting there for at least 5 to 6 years. And at one point, it had a lamp on it, never got lit up. Now, I don't even know, I didn't drive by there tonight, but the pole's not there, but the base is there. Why is that historic light, why can't that come back up there and be lit up like the rest of them? It's all supposed to be there. The post has been there forever.
Are you talking about a street light?
One of the historic lights, one of the black lamp pole lights that would be on the corner there. There's a base there, and for a long time, that post sat there with no lamp. Then a lamp got put on there, and then the post was removed. But why can't that light be put back in working order like the rest of them there?
Sandy, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know if it's a situation where there's an electrical problem.
Problem, probably.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
But
like.
it's-
There are a certain number of poles that, OG&E has the contract with the city to take care of.
But it wouldn't be an OG&E light. It's one of our lights that we have. Well, I don't know if they're lit up by OG&E and if it's part of what we do as business with OG&E, but there is a lamp base there, and there was a historic light there, but it's just not there anymore. And if it's just the post itself, why isn't there a lamp on it just to make it aesthetically pleasing?
Haven't a clue. Okay, so at Wentz and Oklahoma, which
It would
corners
be
on?
the northwest corner.
So over
Well,
there
you know,
by
you got
Prairie Wolf?
Wolf here, and then you have the old drive that went up to there. It's right there on the corner there. It's the sidewalk there on the corner, and it's been there forever. And
Okay.
I've been making a note to myself to remember that, and tonight I did. And
Yay.
it just needs to be taken care of and lit up like the rest of them.
Okay. He'll go take a look at it tomorrow. We'll talk to Municipal Services about to
But,
see
you
if
know,
there is some kind of an electrical
And
issue
certainly
or
if it's
something like that.
electrical, it can't be that big of a deal. We've done a lot of electrical down around here, especially with Mumford and Son, and we've done a lot of just getting everything, I can't imagine that one lamppost being so costly that it can't be
I-
done.
I don't have an answer for you,
Okay,
but we
I'm just
will in a
bringing
few
it up.
days. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Let's see. I did mention that. Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Just 2
Okay.
points.
We're through?
I believe that we are very close to it. I have down here, and I'm going to keep this on our agenda to continue any further discussions on redoing the design guidelines and such. I feel that we've run a little longer than we normally do, and I know creativity tends to go out the window when people get a little tired. But this item will be on here until we get done with all that you want to get done with rewriting the ordinance, okay?
I think that's good.
Does that meet with everyone's approval?
When we have a shorter agenda,
Okay.
we'll,
Yeah, I think when we have a shorter, this was a lengthy one tonight, but this will stay on here until we all feel better about this.
very good.
Sweet.
Well, do I
Then
have a
with-
motion for adjournment?
My motion.
I'll second.
Then we are adjourned.
Very good. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.